So apparently Joe Rogan has the most popular podcast on Spotify, and he's repeatedly spread COVID misinformation and invited guests on to do the same.
Went from Walter Cronkite, basically, to this guy Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. I checked it. He believes in dragons. He believes in dragons.
Did you triple source that?
Yes, I did. And he also thinks that dragons, like I guess like dinosaur type of animals, roamed the earth when people did.
Worried about losing your job, and you're worried about podcasts taking over, and who's the source of news, and we said Donald Trump was Hitler, but half the country disagreed with us, and he won, and this is and Joe Rogan believes in dragons.
Joe Rogan has had enough. After years of being mocked, misquoted, and misrepresented by daytime TV elites, he just dropped a $100 million lawsuit on The View, and the fallout is already explosive. This isn't just some podcast beef or TV drama. This is a full-blown legal war, and Rogan's not pulling any punches. He's suing Whoopi Goldberg, Joy Behar, and Sunny Hostin for defamation. And this time, he's coming in with firepower. People thought Rogan would brush it off like he usually does, but not this time. The insults and false claims crossed a line, and now lawyers are involved, and the stakes couldn't be higher. What triggered this legal storm? A segment on The View where the hosts mocked Rogan, called him dangerous, and suggested he spreads misinformation, all without a shred of evidence to back it up. While sipping their coffee and chuckling, the hosts threw out wild accusations that could damage reputations. But this time, their target wasn't some faceless figure. It was Joe Rogan, and he was listening.
That's why people like our show, because they know that we are checked by ABC News. But
We're checked by everybody.
Yeah, I mean, if we're wrong, we have, the legal note here.
The human legal
But
I don't know. Hey, this is the most important part. This is right after she was saying, we are run by ABC News. You should trust us, not Joe Rogan, who believes in dragons. So she by saying we should trust them because they're double checked by ABC News, and then making the stupidest f***ing statement. Like you didn't listen to what I said.
Yeah.
You didn't listen to what the wildlife biologist, and that's only a part of what he said.
I can't believe
the other
Joy
part of what he
Behar
said
didn't
was
weigh.
there was something before that where he was explaining encounters with giant reptiles.
Whoopi raised eyebrows with her smug sermon, saying people like Rogan confuse the public and spread lies. Joy rolled her eyes so hard it looked like she might pass out from the effort. And Sunny? She tried to play armchair lawyer. But here's the twist. Rogan didn't respond with a rant. He didn't tweet back or go on a tirade. He did something far more serious. He lawyered up and filed the lawsuit. This wasn't a bluff. This wasn't a joke. Rogan came in swinging with receipts, transcripts, and video clips. Every word they said was documented and time-stamped. Sources say ABC executives were stunned when the legal papers arrived. One insider whispered, "We never thought he'd actually sue." But he did, and now the panic is spreading fast. This isn't just about public image. This is about business, contracts, and credibility. Rogan has a $200 million Spotify deal, a massive global audience, and a brand built on honesty. Dragging his name through the mud on national television isn't just unfair. It's reckless. That's why his legal team is demanding accountability, and they're not settling for an apology. Joy Behar was reportedly speechless when she found out the lawsuit was real. Whoopi, known for her loud opinions, has suddenly gone quiet behind the scenes. And Sunny Hostin? Rumors say she's been calling legal contacts non-stop. A staffer was overheard saying she's trying to figure out if her insurance covers defamation. The View's producers are scrambling. Meetings are happening behind closed doors, trying to figure out how to spin this without admitting guilt. But the public isn't buying it. Viewers are flooding social media, calling out the hypocrisy.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching and hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean, it is a rabies-infested hen house.
and at the same time, it seemed like the most interesting part was their audience seemed to be on my side.
Yes. Yes.
And that's their audience.
Yes. Well, their audience is not really their audience. Their audience is a group of people they bring in to watch television shows.
They talk about accountability. Well, here it is, tweeted one user. The lawsuit outlines clear examples of false claims made on air. Statements that, according to Rogan's lawyers, were made with reckless disregard for the truth. And now ABC is on red alert. Legal experts say this could cost them far more than just $100 million. It could shake their credibility with every viewer watching. Imagine the irony. The show that constantly preaches responsibility is now being sued for irresponsible speech. The tables have officially turned. Joe Rogan's fans are celebrating. Reddit threads are lighting up. Twitter is ablaze. And YouTube reaction videos are racking up millions of views. This isn't just a lawsuit. It's a warning shot to every talk show host who thinks they can say anything with zero consequences. And Rogan? He's just getting started. Inside ABC's executive offices, the atmosphere was pure chaos. Legal teams were flipping through scripts, analyzing past episodes, and trying to figure out just how deep this mess goes. One producer was caught saying, "Did we really compare Rogan to a public threat? On air?" The answer was yes, and now the lawyers are sharpening their pencils. The moment the lawsuit became public, media analysts began circling like vultures. Headlines blared across the internet. Joe Rogan sues The View hosts for $100 million. It was all anyone could talk about. Meanwhile, Rogan remained calm, cool, and calculated. On his podcast, he didn't rage or scream. He simply laid out the facts one by one, exposing every false narrative. In one chilling moment, Rogan stated, "This isn't just about me. It's about the lies that get passed off as truth in front of millions." The clip went viral within hours. The lawsuit calls out specific phrases used by the hosts, words like dangerous, reckless, and misinformation, all used without any evidence, according to Rogan's legal team. Joy Behar once joked that Rogan believes in dragons, mocking him with a smirk. But that throwaway line has now become a key part of the defamation claim.
I agree that Joe Rogan is a horror. I
mean, I'm not saying that Joe Rogan should be removed from Spotify. He's got 11 million listeners. He's got a $100 million, contract as of 2020. But I do think as the podcast platform, you have to have some sort of guidelines. How about a disclaimer on his podcast that says, this is misinformation?
Even more shocking, fans discovered that Rogan actually changed his online profile to Dragon Believer as a sarcastic response. But sarcasm aside, the damage was done. Rogan's attorneys argue that such remarks paint him as untrustworthy and delusional, harming his reputation and affecting major deals behind the scenes. And that's the core of the case: reputation. In the age of podcasts, streaming deals, and global platforms, a person's reputation is worth millions, sometimes more. The View's defenders tried to spin it as just jokes, but legal analysts aren't buying it. You can't hide behind humor when you're making serious accusations, one lawyer explained. This wasn't a roast. It was character assassination dressed in studio lights and applause signs. And now it's unraveling in real time. Backstage at The View, tension is through the roof. Reports say Whoopi stormed off set after taping, refusing to answer questions from staff. Joy was seen pacing her dressing room, muttering, "This can't be happening," while Sunny was glued to her phone, texting nonstop with her legal advisor. One camera tech reportedly said, "I've never seen them so rattled. It's like the air's been sucked out of the room." The mood has completely shifted. Meanwhile, Rogan's supporters are calling it karma in real time. Fans are posting side-by-side clips of The View's claims and Rogan's rebuttals. And the contrast is damning. Every comment, every sarcastic jab, every smug remark from the hosts is now being replayed in slow motion and analyzed like courtroom evidence. And the backlash? It's not limited to legal circles. Celebrities, influencers, and fellow podcasters are speaking out, calling The View hypocritical and careless. Even some longtime viewers are turning. "I've watched The View for years," one fan posted, But after what they said about Joe, I'm done. The tide is shifting fast. As the pressure builds, ABC is reportedly considering on-air damage control, a vague clarification, or a carefully worded segment.
You know, just let's look at a scenario where the Supreme Court says, yes, he has all those rights. He is immune from everything.
Yeah.
You know what Joe Biden could do since he is presently president?
What?
Whoa. He could throw every Republican in jail.
Do you see what Whoopi Goldberg said?
What'd she say?
Whoopi Goldberg said that Biden could arrest all the Republicans and put them in jail. You just need to see how unhinged this kind of thinking is. Well, you know what Joe Biden could do? Joe Biden, you have to see it.
But it might be too little, too late. The internet didn't just react, it exploded. Clips from The View were now being dissected like evidence in a criminal case. Every sentence, every smirk, every false claim had turned into digital ammunition. Rogan's legal team released a statement that made it crystal clear. This wasn't about hurt feelings, it was about deliberate defamation on national television. And they weren't backing down. The damage done was real, immediate, and measurable, the lawsuit stated. The hosts knowingly spread falsehoods with reckless disregard for the truth. Those words sent a chill through every talk show studio in the country. Talk show hosts everywhere started paying attention. If The View could get sued for throwing wild accusations around, who was next? Suddenly, reckless hot takes didn't seem so safe anymore. And ABC. The network is bracing for impact. Behind closed doors, executives are whispering about settlement offers, NDAs, and worst-case scenarios. The walls are closing in fast. Meanwhile, Joe Rogan kept his composure. No drama, no theatrics, just facts and firepower. On his podcast, he calmly dismantled the false narratives while millions tuned in with popcorn in hand. One fan commented, they thought they could ruin him with a few lies. Turns out, they woke up a beast. The sentiment echoed across platforms, from Reddit threads to YouTube reactions. The irony couldn't be thicker. A show that lectures the public on accountability, now caught in the web of their own unchecked arrogance. It was poetic justice, served hot and in high definition. In one episode, Whoopi said, "We're run by ABC News. We're held to standards." That clip aged like milk. Viewers were reposting it with captions like, "Are you sure about that?" Joy Behar, who once proudly called Rogan a dangerous influence, now finds herself at the center of a legal firestorm. What was once applause-worthy sarcasm now reads like a lawsuit in motion. And Sunny Hostin's attempts to sound like a legal expert backfired spectacularly.
People want us divided, and they aren't just here in this country. They're foreign adversaries who are infiltrating our social media because it is prudent for us to stay that way. So when you see something that really pisses you off, you should triple check that one.
The bad information that's going out there.
Well, in defense, there are some really good news.
It's possible that Donald Trump did roam the earth when dinosaurs were here.
There are some really good news kind of influencer types, and I think it's great that they're getting information about global and current events in front of younger people who maybe don't tune into traditional media. But to Sarah's point, there has to be some fact-checking and actually verification of the things that are shared, because I spend a lot of time on Instagram Reels, and I'm served up things that I get outraged about, and then I realize, oh, that's not even true.
Her misstatements and baseless claims are now being used as evidence against her. This isn't just a bad PR day, it's a disaster. PR experts say this kind of lawsuit, with this much public traction, could ruin careers and cost the network a fortune. The $100 million figure isn't just for shock value. Rogan's brand generates real revenue, has global reach, and carries massive cultural influence. Attacking it with lies isn't cheap, it's costly. And that's exactly what the legal team is arguing, that the damage from The View's claims reached into millions of homes and harmed Rogan's reputation on a massive scale. Spotify execs reportedly held emergency meetings the day the lawsuit hit. Even if they back Rogan, the storm created by The View's accusations has ripple effects across partnerships. The media world is holding its breath. If this lawsuit goes to trial, It could pull back the curtain on just how little fact-checking some talk shows actually do before airing bold claims. Legal commentators are already calling it the most high-profile defamation suit since Johnny Depp versus Amber Heard. The stakes are that high, and the fallout could be even greater. And fans? They've turned into digital investigators. Clip after clip is being posted with timestamps, comparisons, and frame-by-frame analysis. The View's words are now evidence on public display. What once felt like just another episode of TV banter has transformed into a landmark moment in media accountability. This isn't just about Joe Rogan. It's about how far daytime TV can go without being held responsible. Even rival networks are quietly cheering. One insider from a competing show whispered, "We've all had enough of The View acting like they run the moral high ground. It's time someone pushed back."
I had to read the thing about The View because I just thought it was funny.
What's
That's
The
the
View?
only reason why I read that about me.
Dragon lover.
The radio,
All right, tell me
Joy
what this
Behar
is.
was trying to say that I believe in dragons.
Wait, what is this? I just
She
heard
said,
about
I checked it. And the lady goes, did you double check this? She goes, I checked it. He believes in dragons.
Should be like,
you think they lived
Sasquatch,
alongside of
bitch.
people?
Rogan's podcast audience has ballooned since the lawsuit hit. Millions are tuning in, not just for the usual laughs and insight, but to watch him calmly wreck every falsehood thrown his way. And he's not playing dirty. He's just playing smart. Every rebuttal is backed by facts, clips, and calm logic. Compared to the emotional chaos spilling from The View, Rogan looks like a surgeon. Fans have noticed. "This is how you fight back. No screaming, just proof," wrote one user on X. He's giving them a masterclass in precision takedowns. Meanwhile, back at The View, rumors are flying that some hosts want to take a temporary break while things cool down. Translation? Panic mode has officially been activated. One leaked email from ABC's internal team even warned staff to avoid commenting on pending legal matters. The silence from the studio is deafening and telling. But Joe's not silent, not even close. He's doubling down, using every episode to clarify, correct, and call out the media madness that led to this moment. It's controlled fury, and it's working. One of the final nails in the coffin came when fans unearthed older clips of The View, mocking other figures without evidence. This wasn't a one-time slip, it was a pattern. That pattern is exactly what Rogan's team is zeroing in on. Recklessness, disregard for the truth, and a culture of smug superiority that finally met its match. So now, the media world watches with bated breath. Will ABC settle quietly behind the scenes? Or will this turn into the trial that redefines what TV hosts can legally get away with on air? Whatever the outcome, one thing's for sure. Joe Rogan didn't just hit back, he changed the game. The next time someone says, "It's just a talk show," they might want to check the legal fine print first.